Welcome into the Nat Bros. Let's try this again. Welcome into the Nat Bros podcast. I'm your host Nick, and he's your other host Andrew. We are inviting you back into our continued conversation about sovereignty, the battle for the hearts and minds of men. This is still part three, the code of conduct, where we're breaking apart different words that men need to live by, a different code that men need to live by. And today we are talking about integrity, chapter 14. And so, Andrew, do you want to take it off and give us that introduction, or give us a summary slash introduction?
I do like how you're just so more animated, and I'm just ready for bed.
I mean, that's what being on opposite sides of the world kind of does for us. Is
It
that
sure does.
like I still got
But yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah.
So integrity. Wow, this is a tough one. Basically, in this chapter, Mickler goes through. He pretty much hits it as hard as he can on the head with saying, if you can't have integrity, you ain't a man. That's first and
Mm,
foremost. If you can't hold yourself to a higher standard, then why would you even think you can call yourself a man?
right.
Um, Making mistakes, owning up to it, promises, fulfilling them. Don't sell yourself. I wouldn't say short. What's the opposite? Don't sell yourself too far out. Don't promise things or are on 100% sure you can deliver on, because then that just makes you look bad. And man, I had that for me too. Just a quick example for work and stuff. I can try and get this done, and I know this past Friday I was like, hey, I'll get you this Friday, and I was like, it comes around Friday evening, I'm ready to send it. Hey, you missed this and this. I'm like, okay, but yeah. So all the time, accidentally promising more than what I can do. I mean,
Mhm.
kids, oh my word, tell them something, they just don't forget at all.
Yeah.
They make you live up to whatever you promise. But
Right.
yeah, so that being said, integrity starts with, in this chapter, he starts covering right or wrong.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, you can't say that everybody doesn't have a moral compass, so to speak, of right or wrong. He points out kids tend to lie, when they know they did something
Hmm.
wrong.
Yep.
But I'm not saying it's 100% true or false. Like the first time they do it, they probably don't know it's not right or wrong. But after that first time, yes, they know. But you know, um, but definitely, as adults, as grown-ups, as adolescents, whatever, from little kids up, you pretty much know right or wrong. Even if you don't
Where do
have
you
a
Good.
moral compass, you still know what's right or wrong. You were taught it at one point in time. Yeah, in
Where do you
theory.
think we get this? Where do you think we get the desire to be wrong, or to lie about something, especially as children? Like, where do you think that ends up coming from?
I think it comes from fear of what's going to happen.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
consequences, right?
yeah, adults do the same thing. My beautiful wife tends to hide some things that she's afraid I might overreact to. I hide things I'm afraid she might overreact to. Kids do the same. Oh, kids, oh man, they'll lie to you and smile the whole time. You just don't even know. You're like, man, I can't tell. I cannot tell. Cannot tell. Because, and then the other thing is you love them. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But it's like, you are lying right now.
Yeah,
But definitely, top of the list, consequences
yeah,
are the
yeah.
issue. Most people don't want to own up to the consequence of what they did wrong.
Or at least don't want to
I've
face the consequences of it,
faced the music,
right? Yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
the bed, sleep in
Um,
it. Yeah.
so one of the things, kind of like, yeah, we try to play it like whether we know, or we try to play like we don't know if it's right or wrong to do something. And Andrew and I both
Oh,
heard
another
this
thing is,
quote before, but Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to jump in. Another thing is like not just consequences, but when you're making excuses for it, you did something wrong. You're just trying to justify it at that point too. So,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
that
Trying to
moral
explain why
compass
you
you're
did it.
lying, but then trying to justify what you did. But yes,
Yep.
go ahead
Yeah.
with your
Yeah.
quote. I apologize.
Well, we'll come back to that. But basically, like we try to say that like we don't know whether it's right or wrong. But basically, like if you're like looking around and you're like looking, trying to see, if anybody's watching you, chances are it's probably wrong. Like, or if you're trying to figure out where the camera is, or if you're trying to figure out if anybody can see from outside. Like, if you're trying to, chances are it's wrong. And the thing is like it's interesting because I don't think he really talks about this idea of like he mentions it a little bit, but being desensitized to that, where we click over to the point of like I don't care if anybody's watching, I'm just going to do it anyway. And he talks about kind of like how that is can cause you to be like I want to say a psychopath or sociopath, but basically like it makes you um, just irresponsible and you no longer have integrity because you just don't care anymore. So what do you think are what are things we do? What do you think we do wrong willingly do wrong, and then how do you think we justify it?
Speeding.
Speeding. Oh, okay. Speeding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speeding is definitely that's actually a really good one because you
Everybody
definitely
does
like
it.
to do what?
I said everybody does it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like oh yeah, yeah. No, everyone speeds. I mean, it's fine, even though it is against the law. Everybody
Oh,
speeds.
I still like. Actually, to be honest with you, uh, where I live, most times if you're on the interstate or on a highway, you can go about 10 over the speed limit, and they usually won't mess with you.
Yep. Yep.
And like, there's one time I'm driving, and I look over, and I'm going about 10, 12 over. I look over, and a cop pulls up right alongside me and just passes me. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even see this guy. Like, but of course, like it's just like I'm not looking, even though it's wrong. Like, there's that moral
Yeah.
compass thing. Even though it's wrong to speed, like you get away with it for so long, or it's allowed so much. It's like, what's the point of even having the law? What's the point of having the rule if this is the speed limit? And
Right.
yeah, but
Right.
that's even though it's not really that of an important deal. There are
Hmm.
consequences for it.
Yep.
You own up to it. If I got pulled over by a cop and they're like, you're speeding, yes, sir, I do.
And we even get taught though, like if you get pulled over by a police officer and they're like, I pulled you over. You're like, nope. You were speeding. What? I was? Are you serious? No way. I mean, I would say
Or
again,
like,
going back to this, like, what are
or,
you going to
or
get? What are
that
the
that
consequences?
story about the station wagon. Remember that story about the station wagon? Sir, you
Hmm.
see what kind of car I'm driving?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Was that the state? Was that a station wagon or like it was like a little
Yeah,
whatever, like, kind of tiny car and stuff like that? Yeah,
it might have been a
yeah. Making
Pinto.
making it making it a joke about it and stuff like that. But no, I mean like that. But that's actually that's just good. That's just good. You know, that's good. Like people
What is it?
skills, like being able to crack a joke like that. Whenever
It's a
like being
good
in front of a
lie.
judge is just
It's a
good
good
people
lies
skills.
with this. Yeah, yeah, good lie.
It, well, I
So let me ask
guess
you this. Here you go. Here's a
yeah.
question for you. So,
There you go.
so
Go.
if you can get out of it with good people skills, do you try, even though you're wrong?
I,
It's a good
that's a,
question.
that's a challenging thing because he even brings up like if you do like little lies or little things. I mean, I would say as long as if you own up to it, like if you're like if you own up to it, I think you could still probably get a lesser sentence or a lesser consequence if you have
Right, pay court fees and stuff
like
like that. Yeah. So I've
yeah,
always,
but
and
like
that's the other thing with my kids, their consequences. They're so afraid. It's like, listen, if you tell them the truth now, of course there's going to be a consequence. 110%. I don't even know how that turned on. What the crap?
hey, bright light.
Of course there's going to be a consequence. You know, their
Mm-hmm.
favorite question is like, how many whoopings am I gonna get, or how long will I be in my room?
Bro, that was our favorite
Doesn't
question.
matter.
That was like we needed to know that. Like we know.
Oh,
Like how many spank?
they ask the same
Yeah.
question. They're 100%. But it's like, if you tell them the truth, your punishment will be so much less severe than if you lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
like if you lie to me and then I have to find out the truth some other way, I look like a
Mm-hmm.
fool. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it plays a big part in how much of that whooping you're going to enjoy, son. Because like I hate being lied to, and you know, it's just
Yeah.
maybe that was bred into me. So I always try not to lie. Honestly, I try even when it's hard. You know, even when I've always said like I tell the truth almost to a fault. You know, I will tell you how it is, even if you don't want to hear it, even if you know it probably isn't the best way to tell it because
Mm-hmm.
you know I don't want to be. I don't want to be held accountable for having lied. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Or on top of that, needing to remember the lie and then potentially make it more complicated. Like that's definitely an extreme challenge as well. Like where you need to make it more
Now
complicated.
I will admit, I do have, you know, the integrity thing. If we're being honest with that, I do have a certain set of skills, you know, that allow me to, you know, bend the truth. You know what I mean? You're not telling the whole truth, but you're not telling a whole lie either. You're just giving enough to make it, you know, seem one way or the other. You know what I mean?
I
And
do. I
I
still
know
think
that
that's
that
not
is
being
no, it's not. It's not. I don't. No, I'm not saying it is
all right. All right.
perfect.
All
It's
right. All
just,
right.
you know, I, honestly, I try and be honest as much as I can, but I know I'm a good liar too. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I know I can make up a story on the spot, and that's a bad thing. You know, it's
Mm,
you know even like you said, even like with a police officer, you know, like do you own up to it or do you just oh no, officer, I didn't know I was going that fast. My fault. You know, my speedometer wasn't
mm,
working, or
mm-hmm.
my my
I
cruise
was on
control
cruise control.
fluctuates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Something
go.
like that. But yeah.
But you know,
So then, Mickler leads into this idea of like, again, right or wrong, like because he wants to ultimately lead us into talking about when you make a mistake and how to fix or how to rectify past mistakes, and that being a man of integrity requires you to rectify things that you messed up or failed at or screwed up in the past. And so he lays out three things: owning your mistake, righting the wrong, and learning the lesson. So the thing that he presents is that it's just going to be hard regardless, because what it requires is like just like having this. It's interesting that he talks about integrity because like sometimes like I feel like it's a combination of ownership, which is where you admit to your mistakes. It's a combination of self-awareness, which is where you know what you can do and can't do, and it's also a combination of humility because when you make a mistake, which you are going to, because we all fail, it's just that when you make the mistake, are you humble enough? Are you going to be humble enough to be able to admit that and fix it and do something about the thing that you made a mistake on? And so it's basically just choosing your heart. Like either on the one side, you're going to have to fix it, and that's going to be hard, but you will be free of any like guilt and like guilt of consciousness, or your conscience will be guilt free, or you can continue holding on to the guilt and continue like a mental health deterioration, but also just a morality deterioration, just a no longer being trustworthy kind of deterioration. And so yeah, so talks about owning your mistake. Um, talks about recognizing when you make a mistake and being responsible for that mistake when you get to that point where you're like, okay, I did make this mistake, and I'm responsible for not just fixing it, but you have to take responsibility for that mistake. And it's not. He talks about apologies, and I think we talked about apologies before, like with like politicians and stuff like that. Like I think even in the ownership chapter, we talked about like where people will either refuse to say sorry or they'll come out with like some kind of scripted apology. And he even brings that up. He's like, you can't do a scripted apology. You have to be like an actual, like, honest apology. So I want to ask you, who do you think had the best apology, or like the most believable, either the best scripted apology or the most believable apology in like any apologies that you've heard, period? And then who do you think has the worst?
I mean, if I had to hear an apology in public, it's more likely a scripted one. Like there's no press release apology that's not written, in my opinion. Um, I don't know. I don't think I've heard a good apology. That I would believe if I heard it online.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my kids are pretty scripted too.
Right.
Like, oh, y'all didn't apologize, and like he apologizes through a cup while he's drinking water. I was like, how is that an apology? Like, what is that? What is that?
hey,
That's
hey,
not an
hey, Dad!
apology.
I'm really sorry that I did this. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Right. Right. Definitely. Definitely.
Totally believe that.
Yeah. I'm not saying you have to
I would,
bow
I would
down
say, I
and
would say one of the
pray
things
for
is like,
forgiveness, but
I don't know. So I actually maybe going back to trying to. I think there was a time. So there was one time where the church that I was a part of, where the pastor actually was having an affair with like a secretary or something like that, and he ended up getting either getting caught or maybe just, you know, and this is like an extreme circumstance, an extreme case for sure, but it does happen. But like he ended up needing to go and before the church and apologize, and I felt like, I don't know. It seemed like that one was because I'll say this: I don't really remember a lot of the apology because I think it was like more of a heartfelt apology, and so like as soon as you give me that, done. Okay, cool. I believe you. I trust you. I think you actually are remorseful. I think you're sorry about the mistake. But like I definitely think that there are definitely some circumstances where like politicians would benefit a lot, or other people would benefit a lot. Fathers would benefit a lot. Sons would benefit a lot. Mothers would benefit a lot. Daughters for apologizing for things that they did, and but we just, yeah, it's just a challenge to do that. But like I would definitely say that was the best apology that because I think if I don't remember it, if I remember your apology, like I know that there are like some YouTubers out there who are like they did something stupid or they said something stupid, which I'm sure later on, if we're still doing this like in 20 years, which I plan to be, like when we're talking 20 years from now and somebody pulls up like one of these clips from back then, they're like, you said this. I'm like, yeah, about
oh, that reminds me,
that.
the Kevin Hart one, the Kevin Hart incident.
Oh, like
I forgot
with
about
his
that one.
wife and being caught with
No,
another woman.
there was a Kevin
Okay.
Hart incident where he was supposed to host something, and he said some like, I don't know if it was a homophobic or some kind of joke that somebody found years ago, and
Hmm.
they pulled him. They're like, well, you can't host this anymore. Like, man, it was
Oh,
20
oh.
years ago. And it's a joke, and it wasn't so much just an apology. It was just like, are you kidding me? Like, yes, I might have made a mistake, but it's a joke, and that's the other thing. It's like, there's times for excuses, and there's times where it's like, that's not excuses. Just people are being stupid, like just trying to pull something out from left field, just for whatever reason. It's like, a joke's a joke. Ralphie May's been
I
telling them
wonder. I
kind of
wonder
jokes
if
a lot longer than Kevin Hart had.
yeah. I wonder if like nowadays, like just with how sensitive everybody is about everything and how like intense people are about everything. Like I wonder if like today there's even more reason to, like, if you I mean, I wouldn't. The thing is like I would never say like, okay, it's okay for you to be like racist. No, I don't think it is. It's okay for you to be homophobic or say terrible things about other people. Period. I don't think that's right. You know, but I mean, again, if it's a joke, that's one thing. But like, do you think that like what's going on now in today's world, where we make jokes years ago, and all of a sudden everybody is pulling it up, and they're like, "Oh, look at what you said! Like now you can't do this." Do you think that that's going to have ramifications later on in relationship to integrity? Like because now it's like you can't, it's almost like you can't be yourself to an extent. You have to be what is acceptable to everybody in society. And I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's gonna.
that goes back to your whole humble. You know, I said something that was misconstrued, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna let you sit here and push me around because I said something. You know, I said something. Yes, I own up to it. I'm sorry if I offended you. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. You know.
yeah.
I
All right.
don't think. I
So
mean, I
go
don't
ahead.
guarantee we won't have something happen like that. You know, 10 years from now, someone's gonna pull
Probably,
some up. Hey,
but
man, you said this, this, and this. Yeah, you know what?
yeah.
I still stand by it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. It could be. It could be that you do still stand by it, or it could be that you're like, okay, yeah, I still had a lot to learn, or I had some things because I think everybody's always learning. All right, so that was owning the mistake. Now he's talking about righting the wrong, going and fixing what you did, like whether it's like giving the money back or correcting a statement that you said about somebody that was offensive or wrong, and maybe not offensive. Because I think so, kind of to quote Jordan Peterson, which will probably get like canceled for anyway, because everybody thinks he's like super ultra conservative, even though he's not. But like, I think it's okay to be offensive within a realm. Again, like not necessarily in the idea of racism. I don't ever want to do that. But to be able to question things and to ask questions and to be like able to debate. Because like right now, it's like if you want to debate anything, if you don't automatically 100% agree with everything that somebody says, then you're canceled or you're an enemy. You're hated. So I think correcting a statement is more along the lines of like when you blatantly say something that's wrong, because going back and reviewing like, is this right, is this wrong? If I say this girl is see, I'm trying to think. If I say this guy is egotistical, or this guy is a woman, a misogynist, or I say he's using women and stuff like that, a womanizer. That's what it is. That's the word. And that gets around, and
Misogynist
come to
works
find out he's
too.
actually not. Then, like, if I bring that up, then it's kind of like I need to go back and I need to apologize for that. And one of the things that it does is it requires facing the victim, which means facing whatever consequences come. And
Oh,
so,
there's no apologizing. Like if someone's wrongly accused by the media right now, like it's just too late. You're burnt already.
yeah, yeah.
Someone
Why
slanders
do
your
you think?
name or something like that.
So, why do you think?
Go ahead.
Why do you think we don't, because like not getting into like the media and the politics, the politicians who think that they're above every like any kind of apology and stuff like that, which really sucks. But also, I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why mainstream media is losing a lot of rapport, is because they don't apologize for things. But that being said, why do you think
It's fake news.
regular individuals, especially men, why do you think men don't go back and right the wrong?
Hmm. Justification.
Okay,
Don't
so
want
like
to look
justifying it
weak.
themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to look weak.
Yeah.
If you apologize, then you have to admit you're wrong. So a lot of men don't like to admit they're wrong.
Yep.
I mean, I know I don't like admitting I'm wrong, even when I know I'm wrong. I'll
Yeah.
apologize for it, and you know, granted, I don't like relishing in it, but I'm at fault for that too. Even if you do apologize, who's to say how long it takes somebody to get over that, what you've done to them?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think those are really good points. Like not wanting to appear weak, trying to justify it, trying to not show, and maybe even like this idea of like not having that humility to go and right the wrong. I think also like the consequences are a big thing, but I wonder. It's really interesting because I this is just a conundrum that I just have, and not really there's not really an answer. It's just something to kind of like think about. But like it's kind of like this chicken before the egg or egg before the chicken kind of dilemma. It's like, do you think that like consequences like so maybe we're afraid of the consequences, like the weakness, like the like maybe the punishment that comes from it. Do you think that those consequences, like, do you think that that's what prevents us from going and fixing the wrong? And because maybe some of those consequences are intense, like, do you think that that's the reason, or do you think like there's this perpetual cycle where it's like because in the past people wouldn't admit that they were wrong or wouldn't go and fix the wrong because and so because they wouldn't do that, the consequences increased each time. It's like if you get caught in this, you have this extreme consequence because you didn't come forward. But if you come forward and you admit, then maybe the consequence is less.
I guess the other thing too is
We've got
like
to,
how much of it's your own fear. Like you might be thinking something bad's gonna happen, and you tell the truth, and you get like a little slap on the wrist. There's plenty of things you're
yeah.
gonna do in life that you've never been punished for before in your life, and you're all like, "Oh my God, if
Mhm.
I tell somebody this, what's gonna happen?" If this comes to light, what are they gonna think of me if this happens? But yeah, saving face.
Yep.
Don't want to get a consequence, and then
Yep.
what's the last one? Saving face, consequences, and then what is it? What is it? Hold on, it's on the tip of my tongue. I done lost it. Consequences, same face. I guess same face and pride are the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is like the other thing that goes with it is like you don't want to be the person that nobody trusts too. That's like another
Hmm.
consequence too. I guess nobody wants to listen to you. No one wants to trust you because you're untrustworthy. You've lied.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. No
I guess
doubt.
there's just two real big ones. They're all like tied into each other: pride and consequence.
Hmm. Hmm. So
But
saving
yeah, I mean,
face, not looking weak.
I don't think it. We're not trained by the consequence because, like I said, there could be something that we've never done before, we've never been punished for before, but we know it's wrong, so we hide the
Hmm.
truth of it. Back to that right and wrong thing.
Right. Knowing that it's wrong, even though we've never been punished for it, but then being like even like leaving from work early. Like if you know that it's wrong, then it's like okay, and like people even justify it. Like I know I have some colleagues here, and even sometimes I'll leave from work, and even technically recording this podcast may not be the best thing, but then again, I don't know if I'm like justifying it. I don't know if it's
Breaking the
necessarily
law, breaking the
wrong.
law.
Yeah, it's not really breaking the law, but yeah, it's kind of these ideas of it. So then the third thing, so we've gone with owning the mistake, righting the wrong, and now it's talking about learning the lesson from the mistake.
Don't
And
get caught.
no, but even so, like he does mention that he's like you if you don't get caught, that's cool, good on you,
I know,
but
I know,
you're
I know.
really
I'm just
gonna you're
joking.
really gonna eat at your soul, lose that. But he wants you to express remorse. He says that you need to accept the responsibility. Then you also need to learn from it and not do it again. You need to learn to forgive yourself, not beat yourself up consistently, but you have to become better. You can't like go in, be remorseful for the mistake and be like, oh, I'm so sorry I cheated on you, or I'm so sorry I stole, or I'm so sorry that I lied about
Right?
you,
You
or I'm so
just
sorry,
sorry
blah
you
blah
got
blah.
caught.
And then can well, not even that. Like let's say you don't get caught, but you go in and you feel bad and you go and apologize, but then you do it again, or you do it consistently, or you continue doing it. Then it's like I mean, what are your apologies for? There's not really
Well, that's what I'm
anything
saying. You're
that's
just sorry you got caught. Like, you're not really sorry for the act. You're not really. You're more or less just saying you're
oh, okay,
sorry
yeah,
because that's the norm. You know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had an incident happen at work a long time ago where
Mm-hmm.
I was goofing off and someone got hurt.
Okay.
And long story short, like they weren't going to tell on me or anything like that supposedly, but I wouldn't told on myself because, like, one, I did something wrong, and two, I didn't want it to be 10 years or 3 years or a year down the road, and then something happened, and they go run up front and be like, hey, he did this, this, and this the other time. It's like, no, it's like, So, and then when I went back to, like, why did you tell yourself? Because I don't want to give anybody else ammunition to use against me. I got enough problems as is without giving you more fuel for the fire.
Right, right. So
Uh,
I really can't think of anything like that where I did something and I mean, there's a really funny story. Like I think that where basically where I went and I tattled on myself, but I was kind of like forced into tattling. And I'll say this, like this was, and I told somebody about this earlier, but it was really funny because so so we were at one of our family reunions, and I had my Bible in my backpack, right? And this is very integral to the story. I had my Bible in my backpack, and
bro, I was there.
at this, okay.
I was
Well,
there.
no, do you remember what happened?
The wine cooler.
The wine killer. Okay, okay, yeah. So this is for everybody else. So we're at this family reunion. At this family reunion, there are people who like we normally have. There's like big coolers of like soda, which are like great for us as children. Like yeah, soda. And then there's also like coolers of like beer and wine coolers. And so I realized in this particular trip that I love the taste of wine coolers. It's kind of like Kool-Aid plus alcohol, and it's great. So I was like, all right, and we had some, but we had a rule: you're not allowed to like get a wine cooler or get any kind of alcohol without mom and dad being present. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. But I really wanted one, so I snuck it away. Went into my room, threw it in my backpack to hide it. At some point in time, the backpack decided to fall over, and somehow, some way, like the bottle had. Oh, I think I had opened it, took a sip, and then put the lid on, but like I didn't put it on very well. The bottle tips over, and it spills out of my backpack onto my Bible, onto the floor, and and I go in and I see this, and I'm like, there's red wine cooler on like a beige or like white carpeted floor, and I was like, I'm screwed. Like there's no way, no way that I can get out of this because like this is on white carpet. So I pick up my book bag that way it stops spilling, and I go out and I think I told mom. I don't think I told dad because I was like, there's no way I'm going to go and admit that to dad. Like I got to go tell mom. Like, hey mom, so I did something bad, and so she came in, she looked at it, and she was like, oh, okay. So she went and told dad. I did ultimately get punished for it, but I think this was definitely something that kind of like led me into being more honest and having more integrity is because after that I had to clean it up, obviously. And so I picked up my backpack. I removed my Bible. My Bible had like this nice red, pink, crimson, like red, pink color on the outside of it, just on the outside of the pages. Um, and I went in and I cleaned it up. Come to find out, whatever kind of carpet my aunt had, this is at my aunt's house. Whatever kind of carpet she had, apparently is like liquid resistant because I put down, I think it was like paper towels because we didn't want to like make anything else red. Put down some paper towels, it soaked it all up, and it looked as if nothing had happened there. And like the thing is like the battle that went on in the back of my mind is like, why did you tell on yourself? Why would you not try and clean it up first? Why would you like confess that? But I'm really appreciative of that particular story is because it really taught me it's like even though I can potentially cover it up, even though I had that opportunity, it's always a better thing to go and actually, I mean, I guess you could say tattle on yourself. I'll just use like little kid lingo. I'll just go tattle on yourself. So yeah, fun stuff. So The second part of this particular chapter is being a man of your word. Andrew, I'll let you take it from there because I've already talked plenty.
Lord, ain't that the truth? Uh,
yeah,
honestly, I've hinted at it before, but it's like, I promised my kids something. I promised work something. I promised my brother to do a podcast with them. I mean, like, for instance, geez, I pack my Mondays are so full of crap. Like, I just go, and then, like, before I know it, I'm knocked out on the couch. It's not so much like I forget. It's just like, oh my God, like, I don't even feel like getting up now. It's 20 minutes past. Nick texted me an hour ago. But it's like, there's that. The kids today, man, I told them yesterday, I was like, we'll go out and play the same game on the trampoline we played today. And they're all like, as soon as I get home, hey, don't forget, you promised this game. All right, let me get my play shoes on. I just get home. Let me get my other shoes on. It's just like, I promised the oldest one, I take him to his martial arts class. I took him, and the other two were upset. It's like, listen, like, I'm just shooting myself in the foot now. Promise somebody else some attention this evening, and it's not so much you're not a man of your word. You just got to know what your limit is.
Yeah.
So that you don't break your word. But hold up, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
It's not so much that you can't fulfill it. It's just we're human. We're not making mistakes on purpose. We're not failing on purpose. We're gonna fail. We're gonna sell ourselves not short but too high. But it's okay. Mickler talks about it's okay to sell yourself short and just if you do better than what they're expecting, then yay. If not, no harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The biggest thing too is like this idea. Like I would imagine. Yeah, there is that where it's like you're so drained, or you promise to do this, but then you're like, oh, I'm so tired, like I just don't want to do it. But then there's the other side of it where you promise to do something that you either A, don't really want to do, or you can't really do, but you promise to do it in order to make the other person feel okay or feel better. I can't even really think about maybe I'm trying to think of the time where my wife and where I promised my wife something, because I mean it's been 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Surely there's something that I promised that I would do and I didn't end up doing it. Like clearly that's bound to happen. Obviously, I can only think of like dishes, like cleaning dishes. That's it. Where I'm like, oh baby, I got. Don't worry, I got the dishes. Oh no. This is even better. We have to walk the dog in the morning, and generally on Saturday mornings, she's got classes that she's got to take care of and do online. Well, me, I mean, like Friday night, feeling all confident and full of energy and ready to go. I'm like, baby, I know you got class tomorrow. Don't worry, I'll take care of the dog. But then we stay up until like 2 o'clock in the morning. She gets up at like 7:30 to go and do the class at 8, and me, I'm still like just like passed out, like not even in the process of like moving in that direction to help her. And so generally like not only am I not keeping the promise to her, but also the dog is like, come on guys, I need to be walked. And so like generally he doesn't get walked until like 10. And so that's a minor one. And like definitely going into that, like you've got to be careful about having those minor things, because those minor things can then build into medium things, and those medium things could build into major things that you're not being honest about. So yeah, I kind of wanted to pick your brain about this. He talks about little Timmy, and he's like, well, if you promise little Timmy that you're going to be, well, he doesn't even say promise, but he's like, after a while, if you miss little Timmy's games, like baseball game, and you miss enough of those games, and Timmy's going to start to believe that you don't care about him, and ultimately he'll lose faith in his father. One of the things that's really interesting is like I kind of disagree with that. I disagree if it's like if you haven't promised, but I have to
Bro,
caveat this. I have to put a caveat. What?
his name's Tommy.
What? What?
You're saying Timmy. I said his name's Tommy.
Tommy. Whatever. Timmy. Tommy. Did I write down Tommy or Timmy? I
You
wrote down
wrote
Tommy. I
Tommy.
even wrote down Tommy.
I
What
don't
in the
know.
world? No. Little Timmy, little Tommy, whatever. So anyway, because that matters. So little Tommy starts to. I think that two things. One, if you've communicated with little Tommy that you can't make it to his baseball games, then I think that that's
Well,
okay. But you
I
have to
think I
over
think the
communicate
way
that.
the book is going is it's stating that you did promise it to him at one point
Yeah,
in
if you told
time.
him you would do it.
But
Yep.
yeah, if you communicate to him that you're not gonna be able to make it, but then also follow up with making it up to him and doing something else with them, like
Right. Right.
you know, I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
get to see my kids as often as I'd love to because of work or whatever else. But like when I do get them, they have my undivided attention.
Yeah.
They get to take turns sitting in the front seat. I try and take one of them somewhere and one of them somewhere else. It's hard to get the twins away from each other, but like I took them for a play date this past weekend somewhere with the down the road. We walked and went on a bike ride, and we walked down the street, and they're like, "Hey, we can go to a friend's house," and I'm like, "Okay, we can go to a friend's house." So we walked down there, and the little girl's out playing. And it's like, I stood there for an hour and a half while they played at this girl's little parking house or whatever park driveway.
Oh,
Driveway.
parking house.
I stood there for like an hour while the kids just played with the little girl, and it's just like, that's something they've never gotten to do before. I know somebody else won't take them to do it, and
Right.
stay home, to stay home away from his younger brothers, which is to him a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, being a man of your word, as long as you communicate to your family where you're at. Now, some people get a little temperamental if you don't dedicate enough time to them.
Who might you be talking about, brother? I'm very confused. I don't know who you could possibly be talking about. Wives. The good thing is I can
Yes,
say it on
they
this
are
side.
very selfish. Very selfish they are.
So
But yeah, being a man of your word, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up because I agree. If you say you're gonna do something, do it.
Yep.
Don't sell yourself short. Don't not do it half. So like I was saying, if you promise to do something, do it.
Yep.
I don't know that you have to do a stellar job, but don't half it.
No. I think it's well. What I mean by like a stellar job when I put that in there is not like it's more of like living up to your abilities, like not doing it half butted. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it like half cocked. Like you got to like full on into it. Like do it like with everything that you can. Like whether it's like painting, obviously like painting a house or helping somebody move. Like doing it to the best of your ability. One of the big things for me is like this teaching stuff. Like I'm definitely not where
Giving it
where I
100%.
could. Well, yeah, no, because it's just like I don't know. I am half-assing it big time. So yeah. So what about for you? Like what's something that you would say that
So
you don't
let me
really put your
let me point out another thing that's integrity to me. It's like my job. You have their committing to a contract. There's no contract for my job. I can quit whenever I want, but I feel like I should at least be there, B, give like a 2 weeks notice if I am planning on quitting, and then like C, while you're there, you put in your all, even if like my last job where it just treated me like crap for the however long I worked there, it's just
right.
like it's still a job. You're still paying my bills. I'm still a man. Like that's I'm doing my job to 100%
Right.
as I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Keep your promises, not to appease others, but to appease yourself.
What I was more talking about with the whole promise is like we're promised to do things that we can't because we're trying to make other people feel good or like us or want us more or anything along those lines or just
You
to
gotta make other people happy.
yeah, trying to make other people happy, like even if we know that we can't, even if we know like it's going to be very difficult. I think we have that kind of like ingrained in us. So the mindset: do what's right,
Fix it when it's wrong. Bring up stealing a loaf of bread. Who stole a loaf of bread?
No. He brings up like if you steal a loaf of bread, like is that good or bad? And according to him, it's bad. Now, again, the reason why
Oh, to
like,
feed your family. No,
yeah, to feed your family. Yeah.
Right.
To feed your starving family, more specifically. He said
Yeah,
that
I mean, of course it's wrong. You might be doing it for a good cause, but when does the end justify the means? Never.
I don't know. I disagree with that. Like I think that it would be okay. Now I'm about to watch this like come back.
Why are you in that position?
Why am I in the position? I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it could like to sit there and say like, okay, now if I'm in that position because I've been lazy and I haven't been providing the way that I should be, then yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But let's say crap hits the fan. Let's say that the
Russia
market's down.
attacks.
Russia attacks, or anything along those lines, then is it all of a sudden I'm not someone of integrity if I'm trying to feed my family, like to give them food because they need it, like, and I'm trying to figure out ways to do it. Like, does that all of a sudden? I know he talks about like, and probably one of the other things that he'll talk about is like being prepared, like prepared for potential issues that could come up like this, where you've either got the money to be able to provide for your family for a time, or you've got the other resources necessary to provide. And I agree, I get that. But again, fire to the house. And yes, I'm thinking of like all like really extreme circumstances and stuff, but I still think that I think at times it can be justifiable. Oh man, I'm using that word, and I know he says not to use justify, but I think I don't know. I think that there are times where it's not wrong to do that. Like, are there other resources? Sure, but again, like this is coming from a white dude in America to other white dudes in first world countries. So, to that end,
Really?
yeah, like tell me.
You can't be black and read the book?
Okay, that's a valid point. That's a very valid point. It's a white dude in
Racist.
America talking
Racist.
to.
You might as well just take that out.
Just go ahead. Nah, I'm leaving it in. I'm racist as all get out. We'll just cut that little clip. I'm racist as all get out. And we'll just have that.
Jeez, boy, you just
No, it's not that I'm
black.
racist. I'm just like
They can't read yet, is what my brother's saying. Now you have to take it out.
All of a sudden say like black men can't read, black men can't be sovereign. What you talking about? Why are you not talking about the Hispanics? How about them? How about that? Yeah,
that was next. That was next. Asians, I mean, good Lord, like you living in it.
Woo! Racist is all get out. Man, if that makes me racist, whoo, man, this world is coming to an end. This is not good.
White man talking to other white man.
White man talking to other white man about being
talking to other men. Like, come on, bro.
No, he's a white dude. He is a white dude.
Frozen.
Am I frozen?
But you're frozen. All right, we're back. All right, let's hurry up.
All right, good.
Yeah. Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think you need to promise as much as what you think you can accomplish. That's not under promising. That's promising what you know you can do. It's not under promise, sir. It's just a promise.
Well, he says to under promise. He says that that's one of the skill sets. Is to under promise.
He's wrong for that. Ryan Mickler is wrong for that. Why would you under promise yourself if you're supposed to be giving your stellar top 100%?
Okay, so but I think that requires also a lot of self-awareness. I think you need to know what you can give.
Absolutely. I know I can't perform 6 different tasks at the same time. I know that I can't sleep. I can get about 2. I can get about 2 done.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Sarcasm.
No, 100%. Like I could probably do two tasks at the same time. It's just like I book one thing, I book another thing. I'm like, oh my god, I got 3 things for that one time frame. I was like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go right now.
So
Like you said, self awareness. Yeah, self awareness. Know what you can and can't do. Know what you should and shouldn't do. Know what's right or wrong, and how far you can go. Know where you stop and where you end.
and make sure it's not that you're just lying to yourself and doing it to say that to like appease others or to make others happier. You know, like
I love it. Recognize when you fail. Fail fast.
that's the
Fix the
second skill set.
fail.
Fail fast.
Fail fast. Fix this. Well, I mean, he says that before it's even the second skill set. He says it like way up at top. If you're gonna fail, he says, "What did he say? Where did he say?
Well, he says that you're
He
going to
said,
fail, like you're going to make mistakes.
The point is to recognize that we have faltered, do it quickly, get back our integrity and what we know to be true.
Yep.
So basically, fail fast, pick your butt
Yeah.
back up, and get back to it.
Yep. Yep. So
Men of integrity fix their mistakes fast. Men without integrity dance circles around their failures indefinitely. Last line there. Strongest line, I think.
possibly.
Where's
Yeah.
the biggest place of struggle for you?
For me, or are you asking me, or is this just for both of us?
Yeah, what is your number one white lie?
Oh, my number one. We're talking white lies now. I would say, well, no. What I mean by like biggest struggle is like, is it fixing mistakes or is it completing what you should do? Like that. That's like which one, and then like be more specific about that. So I would say for me, it's gotta be completing what I said I would do. Like it's gotta be that because I don't. That's the biggest default that the biggest issue I've got. Is
Do you
like,
complete it or do you just procrastinate?
I procrastinate and procrastinate. I do eventually complete it, but I don't complete it to the standard that it should be at. Or like I'll say like for again going back to YouTube or going back to like just like when I'm done with work. When I'm done with work, I just want to be done with work. But even at work, I'll still get sucked into YouTube, and I don't actually like finish what I need to do, like when I should be done. That way I can go out with my wife in the evening, or I can go and do stuff with the dog, or I can be free on the weekends and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean, I'll wait until like the very last minute to cram some crap together and be like, okay, here you go. So that's definitely a big one for me. How about for you?
Definitely try to triple, quadruple book myself.
So
Definitely.
same, like doing what you said you would do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes and no. You know, like I know I got an FE exam I need to take that I haven't even studied for, and I'm slacking for it. Procrastination at the finest. I want to get 2 or 3 certificates in CAD design and SolidWorks, but you know, slacking is the finest. And at the same time, you know, you get 6 or 7 jobs dropped in your lap, and you're trying to do everything, but then like at the same time, you know, I mean, it's really nice because I do have some helpers there, and they're like, "Hey, you need help with anything?" I'm like, I don't want to ask you because I feel like I'm just shoveling my stuff off on you, but I know
Right.
I can't do it right now. So yes, please look this over and do this, and then hopefully I'll get done with what I'm doing right now to get to it.
Right. Right. Good. Nice. I mean, I think men are just going to struggle with making mistakes and fixing those mistakes, as well as overpromising what they can't deliver. I think that will, because like he even talks about like we're always going to have that challenge of doing that, like that we're going to fail, but it's just making sure that you are becoming a better person regardless. Like you are working on fixing those mistakes or working on being mindful and being aware of what you're promising. And so,
Agree.
with that, if you are listening, please subscribe, leave us a comment or a review. We would love that as long as it's a 5-star review. If it's less than that, don't leave us a comment. Actually, that's okay if you do, but please be nice. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, click the bell once you subscribe. That way you can be notified when we post videos. We try to do it every week, every Monday. Leave a comment about what you think about sovereignty, what you think about integrity. Do you have integrity? Do you have problems with integrity? Here at the end of the video, you'll see the sovereignty set and also the last video that we did on chapter, I forget what number, chapter 13, which was something. Humility, that's what it was. So, I'm Nick.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
And as always, you have an open invitation to our conversation.